Hi, everybody. 414 on what has been for about, I don't know, maybe a third of the area, a snowy day. The other two-thirds, the west side hasn't really seen snow. I know the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Aloha in Washington County, nothing. It's been a snow mix, but as far as I know, really nothing sticking down in Salem. The snow has been up in, especially now most of Clark County. Most of Clark County now reporting snow on the ground. The east side of Multnomah County, Gresham, that typical east outflow area, snow on the ground. Downtown Portland, I'll show you in a second. A little bit of snow on the ground. So obviously the forecast for today was rotten, right? Absolutely rotten. And for that, I apologize. I thought temperatures would hold more like 37, 38 degrees during the day, and the snow shower bands wouldn't be heavy enough to really collect at the lowest elevations of the valley. But once the east wind machine started to crank, and that happened quickly around 10 o'clock or so this morning out of the gorge, we quickly saw snow down to sea level in parts of Clark County or slightly above with temperatures of 32 degrees. The same thing out along the Columbia River, the same thing in Gresham. And now at 4:16 in the afternoon, moving into downtown. So real quick, some cameras. Again, it's kind of checkerboarded in some spots. That's Domain Serene Winery out in the Dundee Hills. They don't have anything but fog. You've got a light dusting that's kind of come and gone at the Willamette Valley Vineyards. That's just south of Salem. Camas Meadows has been snow covered since early this morning. My Gresham Subaru camera off of POW just went out, but that does show snow on the ground. Sun River, it's actually a pretty day. Sun on the ground. Oregon Garden, nothing in Silverton. Look at Pearson Airfield in Vancouver. Solid coverage of snow on the tarmac. Oregon City, nothing. This was snow covered early this morning in the Gorge, Indian Creek Golf Course. The Gorge actually saw improving conditions today with an east wind. They warmed and there wasn't much moisture out there, so the snow melted. Because there wasn't much moisture, temps in the mid-30s melted it off. Aspen Lakes Golf Course, pretty quiet. Elk Ridge Golf Course was snow covered, but again, the snow bands haven't made it that far east. And with temperatures in the mid-30s, they've melted the snow. That's the east wind, by the way, fighting that snow from penetrating farther inland into the gorge, holding it off. Up in Cowlitz County, Three Rivers Golf Course, nothing. This is cool. Downtown Portland, this is the pier of the Portland Spirit Landing. If you look carefully, you see snow on the ground or in the air, and you can see the dock does have some light snow, anywhere from a dusting to about an inch of snow in parts of downtown Portland. And then it has been snow-free at the coast. This is the inn at Ottercrest in Lincoln City. Let me just read you some snow reports real quick, and then we'll get into the setup. So again, Clark County, the Evergreen area, that's pretty low in elevation. Pretty low in elevation. 3.5 inches of snow on the ground. You get up in elevation in the Camas area, you quickly run into 6 inches of snow. Orchards, 3.5, not that high up. Park Rose, not very high up, across the river in Multnomah County, 2 inches on the ground. Troutdale, you get up in the hills just a little bit on the south side of I-5, 4 inches. You get out into the gorge, Rooster Rock State Park earlier had 7 inches, but that was up actually east on the other side of 84, up in elevation in the gorge. The Kalama Hills up in Washington, obviously, 8 inches. I think that was up around 1,000 feet. Hawkinson had a report of 5.5 inches on the ground. Wow. Let's get into what's happening, shall we? Okay, let's go to the imagery. So not really anything to write home about on the west side yet. If you look at the snow bands, see how the snow bands are setting up near and east of I-5. It's been that way all day. Now, there could be some snow bands rotate in to the west side, but so far we have not seen that. We do expect snow to pick up down in the mid-valley, at least in Salem, as we get going into the evening. Here's the wider radar shot. You can see it's rain offshore, but all this is going to continue to rotate in. See the rotation? There's a low here. It really shows up well on this. I love the satellite image. Oh my goodness, this is great. Here's the flow pattern aloft is shooting straight down from the north, okay? See the little spinning right here? It's a different cloud deck. That's a low pressure center. I talked about this on and off the last couple of days, that this low was here, and it made Thursday's forecast a little uncertain. That was me talking a couple of days ago. But the modeling kept saying really no moisture from it, really no moisture from it. The east winds would pick up, and that would win out with dry weather. Now we know the models were wrong, and early this morning, the weather models started to pick up on this, producing precipitation, and that's what's happened. there's really not much moisture feeding into this low. That's why in parts of Clark County, I know it's been snowing for hours and hours, but it's taken forever to get a dusting to an inch of snow. So the snow rates in parts of the area have been really light. And that's because, again, there's not really any moisture feeding into this low. Now, when you get it in parts of Clark County, the east wind comes in, it hits a bit of, there's some wind shear, and that actually produces lift. And then we got those 4, 5, 6 inch amounts in some of the higher elevations getting into the Cascade foothills. But it's this spinning low that's going to stay with us through the night. It will eventually drop south and drop south and drop south. And as it does, the current timing would suggest that from downtown Portland to the north, the snow starts to wind down before midnight tonight, maybe 11 o'clock. But as this low drops to the south, there could still be some decent snow bands early tomorrow morning in the mid-valley, Salem into Albany. And then later in the morning tomorrow, this low eventually goes down to San Francisco tomorrow afternoon. So eventually tomorrow afternoon, we get into the afternoon hours. I think we're mainly dry outside of a stray flurry. We'll actually start to see some clearing with the east winds actually picking up steam. The winds have been blowing out in Troutdale at about 25 miles per hour today. Tomorrow, those winds will be gusting closer to 40 or 45 near the gorge and 15 to 35 miles per hour in the valley. But there's that low spinning and turning that's causing all of this. That's really a great shot. All right, so where are we at temperature-wise? 33 in Portland, 37 in Salem. Again, haven't seen the cold weather because look at the wind in Salem. It's south. Let me blow this up so you can see it. South winds in Salem. That's a different world. You're 37, you're getting light rain. I think there have been some flurries at times, but nothing sticking. And then you get the east wind. There's Vancouver. Everything's covered. So that's the difference in the area, without question. Let's see here. I like the map. Let's just look at the map. Here's the snow coming out of the gorge. Sandy, Gresham, Camas, all near freezing. Oregon City, there's got to be some snow picking up, at least in the hills, 33 degrees. And then you get a little bit south. Now it's warming up. You get down to 37 in Salem. As that low drops to the south, and as the east winds continue, we do expect cold weather to filtrate all the way down through the valley. So even you folks in Salem that have been warm today, overnight, you're still expected to be at least mid-20s and maybe colder. And that will aid those precipitation bands as they drop to the south, producing some snow for you folks. So we'll keep an eye on that. What about the mountain? 16 timberline. So 12 inches the last 24 hours, but that's on top of what had fallen. So I'm pretty sure their storm total now is over 20 inches. Similar conditions for Meadows. 16 at Timberline, 20 miles, 30 at Skibo. Everybody's picked up really good snow. There you go. 20 degrees at Government Camp, really snow covered. The snow forecast for the mountain does show clearing during the day tomorrow as well. And then the next batch of snow comes in Sunday, 6 to 10 inches, snow level 3,000, dropping back down to 1,500 feet. What about the coast? Well, it's been mostly rain, right? 40 in Astoria, 42 in Lincoln City, 41 Newport. You see those conditions right there. No issues. I do want to scroll down. By the way, this is my weather site, portlandweather.com. All these observation points are available to you. Just bookmark my weather site, and you can kind of skim around the area like I'm doing. So we've been watching the Sunset Highway. Let me see if I can blow this up. Yeah, okay. That was snow covered early this morning, but this is interesting. That's 1,400 feet. It was snow covered this morning. It was 32. Now it's 35. So they're not getting that cold east wind shooting out. They have a southeast wind at 3, and they've actually warmed it up. All these coast cameras, I didn't expect this. Most of the coast cameras, in fact, all of them show pretty good conditions. And this morning, they were snow covered. So that just shows you what a unique, goofy area we live in. The bottom line is we have different wind directions coming up the valley, different wind direction coming out of the gorge. We have folks that live in hills, folks that live in valleys. You get the pooling of air kind of sinking into cold spots and not. And we get these incredible microclimates. Wow. All right, so here's the forecast. Winter storm warning up for parts of the valley, the North Valley up into Vancouver. We have the snow advisory for the Mid Valley. The bottom line is I keep a snow chance alive for Portland to the north through about midnight tonight, and then we should see drying. Down in Salem, where it's been warm, temperatures drop tonight, snow expected to pick up. Everybody has the chance of at least a dusting to 3 inches. Now, again, haven't seen much on the west side. It's possible those rotating snow bands continue to miss some areas, okay? But the potential is there for 1 to 3 inches. Remember, temperatures tonight are going to be in the 20s everywhere. So anything that's out there will be sticking. Going 24 in Portland, but some of you could be closer to 20. 32 tomorrow, early flurries and then some clearing. 20 Friday morning, some of you could be more like 16, 17. It's a sunny day. The east winds are gusty tomorrow. They'll start to calm a little bit during the day Friday, and then we'll be in light winds on Saturday. Saturday's still really cold, upper teens to 22 in the morning, but the afternoon with the light winds and the air mass starting to warm, temperatures should at least get up to 40. I'm going 44. Still think it's a close call Saturday overnight into Sunday as to whether or not we stay above freezing, but I still think that's the best bet right now. That would be rain in the morning Sunday, breaking the showers. Another system, rain at times Tuesday. You get the idea. Tuesday is a little bit drier, more or rain comes in on Wednesday. Obviously, before I let you go, as a forecaster, I called the last several days pretty good, but today I got an F, right? It was horrible. I did not see, and I should have seen it. When you say it out loud, it's like, duh. Once those east winds picked up, that was the big story. I didn't think we were going to get the moisture that we did, but that low did produce it. That same low that I was looking at for a couple of days. I should have realized that had the chance to do it. But the overwhelming story is there's always a lot of joking in this area that, oh, we're talking snow. It's not going to happen. It's not going to get cold. Whenever we start getting into these cold periods and snow is in the forecast and you turn on the news and you go, well, there was some snow around. That school was canceled. That snow was delayed. As long as that period of time goes on, the biggest message to you should be, it's cold and there are snow chances. And every single day we need to realize that the weather could get a little crazy. A lot of times it never does in these events. Sometimes it does. Sometimes we forecast it perfectly. Sometimes we get caught like today. Again, heads up when we get into these cold weather patterns. Thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I expect at this time tomorrow for us to be dry and seeing at least some sunshine and recapping how cold the temperatures were overnight tonight from, into the morning hours. And I will be talking about how cold it's going to be Friday morning as well. Don't forget the wind chill advisory if you're going to be out late tonight too. Could be wind chills as cold as the single digits here in town. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.